Hello everybody, how are y'all doing today? It's Spencer. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been moving and I really haven't had the time to sit down and make a fun video, but due to some recent events, I feel like I need to make a video to get a rather unpopular opinion across. Um, uh, at the end of this last month, a bunch of new games came out, and I got them all. I got the Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost Recon Wildlands, like you see here, and I also got Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. And Horizon's pretty great, and Ghost Recon, despite it being a classic Ubisoft game, I'm really enjoying it. However, my unpopular opinion, here we go, is I'm not really liking Breath of the Wild. Now, I'm sure all of you are ready to type your angry comments and say like, "Oh, how can you not like it? It's such a great game. Oh, best Zelda ever." I'm just gonna lay down some points. I've played pretty much every single Zelda game since, well, the original. I mean, there's only a couple I haven't played and haven't enjoyed. I had the privilege of enjoying, such as Legend of Zelda 2. I didn't play that one. I tried Majora's Mask and I really didn't enjoy the time limit. But pretty much every other Zelda, including the old, Game Boy Color versions and all that stuff, I've really enjoyed. Except for Skyward Sword, that game's shit. But, that's, a popular opinion, so who cares? But the Breath of the Wild, I had a lot of high hopes for, and I really am not enjoying it. But it's weird. It's really weird because the game is fantastic, yet I'm not enjoying it. I mean, everything inside this game is absolutely fantastic. I like just the animations on the monsters. The open world is open and beautiful. I love taming horses. I love the combat is difficult and very Dark Souls-y. I like that whole idea that, you obviously shouldn't be in this area yet, and that sort of thing. And just the combat feels fantastic. It feels fluid. The story is jaw-dropping, and it's perfect in every way. But why am I not enjoying it? Why am I enjoying a game that has everything I hate in it? Why am I playing that more than a fucking Zelda game? The games I grew up on, the games I enjoyed the most out of my life probably were Zelda games. Why am I playing Ghost Recon Wildlands and enjoying it more than Zelda? And it's come to a point that I can point out pretty easily. It's a minor flaw in the game, but it is one that completely breaks the game for me. So keep your pants on, Zelda fanboys. I'll explain. I'm going to go into some very, very, very minor spoilers here about the game. It's not going to be any actual information. It's just going to be how the game is laid out, just so you can get a vision, an idea of how far I've made it into the game before I've come to this conclusion. When you start off, you have a nice big tutorial area that, where you get a bunch of items and it shows you how to use the items, and it's basically this big, this cut-off section of the game that's like, here's how the overworld works, and that takes a couple hours to beat. And then you go after you get that, you get to go into the big open world where they're like, here's everything. The whole world's open to you now. And then at that point, you're directed to a village. And from that, when you go to that village, you learn the story. You learn, like, okay, here's the big grandiose quest that you're going on. Here's the big evil. Here's the things you need to do to beat the big evil. You need to go here, 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 here to get all these things to beat the evil. And that's just, a Zelda game in a nutshell. And after that, they're like, hey, we got a bunch of areas that you need to go to get all the stuff to beat the great evil. Why not head over here to this area first? So I head over to that area, and I get a nice little quest. It's nice and pretty and all that stuff. And before I could finish the main quest, I noticed that there was a side quest. If you're wondering what side quest it is, it involves rescuing some sheep that some moblins came and took. And they're like, okay, if you like clear out these moblins, they won't be taking my sheep no more. And could you rescue them? Yada yada yada, etc, etc. Sounds like a basic side quest, right? Sounds like a side quest, where you'd have to go to someone's attic and say kill some rats. One that would be done pretty simple. And I mean, the area which she directed me wasn't that far away from the main town. So I was like, you know what? I'll go do this little quest real quick. Little did I know that one of the game's flaws that I kinda was like so about on at that time really shown here in this quest. I went out to that quest and I saw a nice little camp of moblins, and I saw them, herding these sheep, and I was like, okay, let's take them out. I ate some buffs, food, and all that stuff. I was prepared to get into a fight. I used some of my items, and then I got into, after doing a bunch of damage to the things, I got into hand-to-hand combat. And this is where the game failed. You see, in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, all your weapons in the game have durabilities. Meaning you can use them only for a short little bit before the weapon simply breaks in your hand. And Lynx doesn't know how to punch, so yes, you need to pick up these weapons, and you need to basically use them on the fly. However, for this side quest, for whatever reason, this basic moblin and this side quest that I picked up in the second town in the game was just immortal. He had so much HP even though he was a basic moblin. I broke 6 fucking weapons on him, and I still didn't kill him. And he wasn't a big, beefy guy. He was just a standard, reskin of the guy I've seen before, except he's blue. 6 weapons I break on him. And I can't believe how flawed this system is. It's a system that in most games you take for granted. In most games, you don't think, hey, I'm gonna go into combat and I hope my freaking weapon doesn't break. Dark Souls has weapon degradation, but unless you use some of the specialized weapons, you really don't have to worry too much about it. As long as you aren't going ham sandwich with the weapons, your weapon won't break. And it just pisses me off that I can't just fight the moblins. If to fight that group of enemies, I would literally have to run around and use my items. I do have a damaging item or item I can use that has infinite uses, but it has a little bit of a long cooldown, and it's very, how would you say, you gotta aim it and they gotta run into it basically. So I'd have to sit there and get into this fight using this item that's not very, you know, functional, and just to kill them because I literally cannot hit enemies. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has took the most basic function away from you, the ability to fucking hit enemies. That's not fun. That's not something I expect out of a Zelda game. Now, I am pretty early in the game. There could be weapons later in the game that decay less or do a lot more damage, so I'm not sitting there swinging them more. But 6 fucking weapons broken on a standard guy. A standard guy. Are you kidding me? I could go in my backyard and pick up a fucking stick, and I could kill more real life people with that fucking stick than I could kill one fucking moblin with a steel fucking sword. Are you fucking kidding me? I could think of a billion other systems that would, you know, fill this void of, you know, oh, you're surviving in the wilderness. Maybe, like, you know, have the ability to craft a wooden sword. And maybe, like, you know, you take some of the wood from the trees and you repair it. Or, you know, there's rocks in the game you can break for rare gems. Why not, you know, get some iron and forge a sword? And then be able to, say, after, you know, you kill about 15 or so enemies, your sword will start to, like, be, you know, halfway broken or so. And then you can use some of that iron to repair it. I mean, there's a billion other systems that support the survival mode of weapon degradation that is so much more better than the system that's currently in play. And it's so depressing because it's Zelda. I love everything about this game except for this one point. And it is such a minor thing that you take for granted in so many other video games that whenever it's taken away from you, you're just like left to go, what the fuck? I mean, in Ghost Recon Wildlands, like the game you see here, I can go, it's a very different game. You can't, it's also like, I guess you could say, a survival game. You can't go into a base. You can't, like, willy-nilly. You'll get your shit fucked. You need to take things slowly. You need to take things objectively. You need to see where you obviously need to go. The only way you can get through the base is some, like, you know, hog wild is with some serious freaking skill. But the one thing you don't have to worry about is your fucking P90 breaking in the middle of goddamn combat. That's the one thing you don't have to worry about. Sure, if you go hog wild with it, you might run out of ammo, but that's easily remedied by going off to select areas of the base that have ammo crates. But fucking A, could you imagine playing a game like this where a gun just breaks in your hand? Who does that? What? How's that fun? How's that fun? I keep on saying fun because it's fucking Zelda. It's supposed to be fucking fun. It's not supposed to be realistic, hardcore simulator. It's supposed to be fun. That's how all the Zeldas. That's why Nintendo is such a family-friendly company. That's why they just want you to have fun. How can you have fun whenever you go whack a guy 6 times and your weapon fucking explodes in your hand? How is that fun? Anyways, this isn't really something I can do to condemn Zelda all the way, and I realize I haven't put in enough time. I'm assuming the Master Sword doesn't fucking break. I hope not. I hear it's something like cooldown based or so. But, you know, until I'll give this game another shot. But just this simple thing that's taken away from you has made me hate the game. It's to the point of where I don't want to play it. And it's a fucking Zelda game. A good Zelda game. Anyways, guys, that's my big faux pas. I can hear the Zelda fans going crazy on me right now. But you know what? I honestly think it's a, it's a valid complaint. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching my video. Sorry for the long break. I will see about getting some more out, maybe some more humorous ones, because I know y'all like watching me do silly shit or play weird games. I think I have a few games under my belt that I really would like to show you. I'll maybe do some collabs with my guys. But anyways, until then, thanks for watching, and I love you. Bye-bye.